Hi, this is Kelly, and it is day 4 of my 100-day juice feast. And normally this would be a weigh-in Wednesday, but I started over on a Sunday, so Sundays will be my weigh-in day. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted to just sort of follow up with where I left off on my last weigh-in Wednesday. So when I weighed in, it was the Wednesday before I was leaving for my vacation in Mexico, and at that point I thought one of two things would happen. Either I would stick to my food plan or stick to juicing while I was on vacation and come back having lost weight for the first time ever in the history of vacationing for me, or two, I would fall off the wagon, and by the time Wednesday came around again, when I got back, I'd be well on my downward spiral, never to return. And neither of those two things happened. I did not remain juicing while I was on vacation, and I did not downward spiral. And so I've been thinking about that. And anyway, so let me just say this, that I am 1 pound down from where I was 2 weeks ago. So I wasn't the 3 to 4 pounds down that I thought that I might be if I stuck to my juicing, and I am not 10 pounds up that I just assumed I would be if I fell off the wagon. Because in the past, I would always have like lots of motivation to stick with something in the beginning, and then as soon as I had some sort of slip, it was just slippery slope from there on. I don't get back on the wagon. You know, it takes months and months or years to get back on, and it takes like a new bottoming out to get the motivation to get back to what I was doing. And so I've been thinking about why this is different. Like, why was I able to, get right back on as soon as I came home? And I think that there are a couple of issues at play. One was that I tried as much as possible to stick to my food plan when I was eating in Mexico. So there are a number of foods that are trigger foods for me, and I attempted to avoid those as much as possible. Now, I did have some stuff with oil in it, and it did trigger some obsessive thinking, but food with oil tends to trigger my desire for sweets. So I eat something oily and salty, and then I crave something sweet, and then I eat something sweet, and then I crave something like fatty and salty again, and then I just get trapped in this spiral. And it's and usually I never do one or the other. Like, there's never a time, I don't think, where I've ever had oil on vacation and then didn't immediately go into having sweets, and this time I didn't. And so maybe there's something to that, I don't know. But I think the other is the support group that I had already developed for myself prior to doing these YouTube videos, and my husband doing this with me. I mean, I knew he was going to eat when we were on vacation, but he has agreed to get back on the juicing as soon as we came home, and that just really makes a huge difference. The juicing community that Juicing Mama has put together on Facebook, it's just an incredibly supportive community. And I think that the more that you embed yourself with like-minded people who really want the best for you, and you want the best for them, and you're all just trying to achieve, peace of mind and health and wellness, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, I think that you're going to increase your chances of success. And so I think that in part that has contributed to my willingness to try again quickly, after deviating or falling off the wagon, however you want to put it. So I am going to continue doing that, and I'm going to try to be more active on the juicing Facebook pages, just to immerse myself in community, because I think that makes a big difference. Now, there were 2 goals that I mentioned in my long, deep video a couple days ago, that or actions that I am going to take in order to work toward relieving myself from the obsession of food. One of which was to meditate daily, and the other one was to try to find gratitude around my need to juice or follow a specific food plan that is not easy to follow when you're on vacation or during holidays and going out to eat, that type of thing. So the question then becomes, how do you go from being completely unwilling to meditate to being willing to meditate every day? Like, obviously, this is not the first time that I said I was going to. When I joined the group, I said I was going to. And there have been multiple weeks where I showed up and said, nope, I didn't do it this week. Nope, I didn't, but I'm going to from now on. So what's different this time around? And one of the things that I think is important when you're trying to establish a habit is to really evaluate yourself accurately. Like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What's holding me back? Why do I not want to do the meditation? And one of the reasons is that I really struggle with focusing on the breath, like where you're just supposed to sit in a chair and then like think about your breathing and that kind of thing. I don't know what it is about that, but it drives me absolutely crazy and I can't stand it. So a friend of mine who's also a part of my group found this app that you can download on your phone that's called Insight Timer. And it has just a ton of guided meditations that are free. I think there's also a paid part to it, but you don't have to. Like, I haven't paid anything. It's just an app on my phone. And these guided meditations will last anywhere from like 1 minute. I've seen some that are over 100. Over an hour. I haven't gone through them all to see how many there are, but there are a lot. And you can do a 5-minute one, a 10-minute one, a 9-minute one. I mean, all the 11 minutes, like just random numbers. And I thought, well, I'm the kind I could sit there and listen to somebody tell me something. I just, for whatever reason, didn't want to sit in silence. And so I thought, well, what if I listen to, like, set it saying I have to do at least 1 minute and just use this app? Would that get me to do it? And then maybe I would evolve into doing them that are not guided. So I've decided to do that, and I've done it one time. I mean, I just decided this yesterday, and I did it. And so I'm going to do it again tonight when I get home. I'd like to start doing it in the morning, but I was in too big of a rush putting my juices together today. But it's an action, I mean, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But, I'm taking like my own strengths and my own weaknesses and trying to see if there's a way to find what I call like the workaround. Like, take the fact that I don't mind sitting and listening and use that to work around the fact that I obviously mind sitting and in total silence and doing this breath thing. So that's what I'm going to try. The second thing is, how do I find gratitude around something that I have no gratitude for? And I have decided, I have this journal that Tony gave me for Christmas. And I hadn't figured out what I wanted to do with it because I have a bunch of other journals for other things. And so I've decided to have a gratitude journal next to my bed. And every night I'm going to write something, at least one thing in it, that is specific to my food addiction or juicing or, struggling with food in some way. Why am I grateful for it? How is it going to make me a stronger person? And that is what I'm going to do. So I did that last night as well. So we will see if over time, when I look at all the things that I have to be grateful for, not other things, I'm talking about this issue specifically. Like, how is this going to make me a stronger person? How is my life going to be enhanced because I battled this particular issue? So fingers crossed, but I can sit here and say, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to whatever, but unless I can find actions that can lead me toward that, it's never going to happen. So that's where I'm at, and that is what I'm going to do tonight, and I will report back tomorrow on how well it worked. And from now on, my weigh-in days will be Sundays. So I keep coming back, and I hope that everybody's enjoying their juicing.